yabba, dabba, do. Alright, boys and girls, welcome to video lesson 4-3, our lesson on polynomial division. Okay, folks, we're gonna do some division the old-fashioned way. We're gonna divide 172 divided by 16 by hand. By hand, not with a calculator. By hand, the old-fashioned way. Remember now, 172. This is called my dividend. 16 is called my divisor. My answer is going to be my quotient. So in order to divide now 172 by 16, I'm going to take my divisor, 16. And that's going to divide into 172, which is my dividend. Go ahead and divide that by hand, and I shall be right back. Okay, you should have found you have a final answer of 10 3/4. Let's go through again and let's review how to divide the old-fashioned way. I look at my divisor, my 16, and I don't look at the whole number here in my dividend. I just see how far 16 can go before I can divide. And 16 goes into 17 one time. So I take this 1, I multiply by 16, which is 16. 1 times 16. I'm going to subtract. So 17 minus 16 is 1. I bring down the 2. Remember now, we bring down this 2. 16 goes into 12 0 times. 0 times 16 is 0. 12 minus 0 is 12. This is going to be my remainder. My remainder is 12, so I take this 12 and I put it over my original divisor, which is 16. So I have 10 and 12 sixteenths. The 12 sixteenths, of course, can become 10 3/4. So again, when I divide now polynomials, you got to remember how to do this now, because you can't divide this on a calculator. You just can't do it on a calc. So we got our dividend. This is our dividend divided by our divisor, which is 2x minus 1. Our answer is going to be the quotient. Now we have our quotient. We take our remainder and put it over the original divisor. So our answer, quotient plus remainder over a divisor, is going to be our final answer. So we're going to divide this the old-fashioned way. So let me get my marker here. We're going to do 2x minus 1 into 6x squared plus x plus 8. Okay, so we're going to take our divisor, 2x minus 1, and we're going to divide it into our dividend, 6x squared plus x plus 8. We start by dividing the leading term of our dividend, 6x squared, by the leading term of our divisor, which is 2x. In other words, how many times does 2x go into 6x squared? Well, 6x squared divided by 2x is 3x. So we're going to write that on the top line, just like you would the old-fashioned way. And I always like to line up my terms. So I have 3x above the x. I'm now going to take this step and do this step right here. I'm going to multiply this 3x times each term in our divisor. So 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times negative 1 is negative 3x. Now remember, now we're going to subtract, so I'm going to change my signs. Minus changes minus to a plus, because I'm subtracting, so I got to change my signs. So 6x squared, let me get my pointer here, 6x squared minus 6x squared is 0. And I have positive x plus 3x is 4x. Let me get my marker back, we'll write that in green, so I have 4x. I'm now at this part right here. Bring down the next term, which is the 8. So bring down the 8. I have plus 8. So 2x goes into 4x. How many times? If you need to divide 4x by 2x, we get 2. So we're going to write that right here, plus 2. Multiply the 2 through. So 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times negative 1 is minus 2. I'm going to subtract, so I change my signs. We'll do this in yellow. This is a minus. This minus again becomes a plus because I'm changing my signs. 4x minus 4x, of course, is 0. And 8 plus 2 is 10. The degree of this now is 0, so this is just 10 without any x's. So 2x I can't divide anymore, so I'm done, and 10 is my remainder. So I take my remainder, which is 10, and I write my original divisor, 2x minus 1. So my final answer is going to be 3x plus 2 plus my remainder, 10, over 2x minus 1. Okay, we're going to divide 6x to the third minus 8x plus 5. That's my dividend, by my divisor, 2x minus 4. And we're asking ourselves, ooh, is there anything missing in this polynomial? Yeah, there is no x squared term. So when we just divide this out, be careful of that. And sometimes we want to mark that term with a 0x squared. It's nice to hold our places. Okay, so we're going to take our, let me get my marker, 2x minus 4. And I'm going to divide that into 6x to the third plus 0x squared minus 8x plus 5. So 2x goes into 6x to the third. How many times? Well, 6x to the third divided by 2x is 3x squared. So I'm going to write that above my x squared term. I'm going to multiply through. So I'm going to multiply through 3x squared times 2x minus 4. So I'm going to get 6x to the third. 3x squared times negative 4 is minus 12x squared. Subtract now, so I'm going to change my sign. So this positive 6x to the third becomes a minus, and this negative 12x squared becomes a plus. Okay, so 6x to the third minus 6x to the third is 0. I got 0x squared plus 12x squared, so 12x squared. Bring down my next term, which is minus 8x. That's a squared. Now 2x goes into 12x squared. Well, again, 12x squared divided by 2x, if you can't do that intuitively, is going to be, what color should I do? Purple. Is going to be 6x. So I plus 6x. I'm going to multiply through now. 6x times 2x is 12x squared. 6x times minus 4 is negative 24x. I'm going to subtract once again, so change my signs. The positive becomes a negative, the negative becomes a positive. So now I'm going to have 12x squared minus 12x squared is 0. Negative 8x plus 24x is, don't tell me, 16x. Bring down my next term, which is plus 5. 2x goes into 16x. Well, that's 8 times. Multiply through. 8 times 2x is 16x. 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. Once again, change my signs because I'm subtracting. I got 16x minus 16x, which is 0. I have 5 plus 32 is 37. Now 37 has no x's, so that's going to be my remainder. So I have a plus 37 over my original divisor, which is 2x minus 4. Okay, I'm going to show you another way to divide called synthetic division, which is very quick. It's almost fun. Once you learn how, I take that back. It is fun. Once you learn how to do it, it's a blast. In fact, you're going to wish you had more of these. Okay? So synthetic division, though, can only be used when the divisor is a binomial of first degree. There is a linear binomial. So my divisor right here is a binomial of first degree because it's x to the first. So I can do this synthetically. Let me show you how to do that right now. First thing we're going to do is take our divisor, which of course is x minus 2. And I'm going to think about this as x minus 2. I'm going to take the minus 2 part here and just change that sign so it becomes a positive 2. And I know this is pure memorization right now, but you will get it. Don't you worry. So I take this x minus 2 and I just write 2. I'm then going to build a little box. And I'm only going to write down now the coefficients of each of my terms of my dividend. So I have 2x to the third, which is just 2, minus 3x squared, plus 3, minus 4. What we're going to do now is I'm going to draw a little line here, and I'm going to bring down my first term. So just bring the first term down, which is 2. I'm now going to multiply. I'm going to multiply 2 times 2, which is 4. 2 times 2 is 4, and I'm going to write that right here. I'm now going to add. I'm not going to subtract. I'm going to add. I have a marker here. I'm going to add neg 3 and 4, which gives me 1. I'm going to multiply once again here. 2 times 1 is 2. Write that number right here. I'm going to add 3 plus 2 is 5. I'm going to take this 2 and multiply it by the 5. 2 times 5 is 10. I'm going to write that right here. I'm going to add neg 4 and 10 is 6. And I'm actually now done. My last term is going to be my remainder, and this number is going to be my number term. This is my x to the first term, and this is my x to the second term. So my quotient is going to be 2x squared plus x plus 5 plus my remainder 6 over my original divisor, which was x minus 2. And there's my final answer. Alrighty, you guys are going to try this one right here. We got 6x to the third minus 19x squared plus x plus 6. That's my dividend. My divisor is x minus 3. I can certainly divide this synthetically because my divisor, x minus 3, is a binomial, 2 terms with a power of 1. It's a linear binomial. So go ahead, follow the steps right here. Give it a go, and I shall be right back. Okay, you should have gotten an answer of 6x squared minus x minus 2. Let's run through these steps right here. First thing we do is rewrite the terms of the dividend. There's my dividend. So the degrees are in descending order. Well, they already are. 3, 2, 1, 0. Blast off. Filling in zeros for missing terms. Well, I had no missing terms, so that's why there were no zeros here. So I just wrote this as 6, negative 19, 1, and 6. I take my divisor in the form x minus k. I'm going to take my k, which in this case is 3, x minus 3. So my k is 3, and that number goes right here. Okay, I bring down the first coefficient. 6, bring it down, I get 6, and then I just multiply through. So 3 times 6 is 18. I'm going to add negative 19, and 18 is negative 1. 3 times neg 1 is neg 3. Add, I get neg 2. 3 times neg 2 is negative 6. 6 plus negative 6 is 0. So now remember now, this last number is going to be my remainder. This is my number term, my x to the first term, my x to the second term. If I had more, it would be my x to the third term. So this is 6x squared minus x minus 2, and the remainder was 0, which means now x minus 3 divides evenly into this polynomial, which means x minus 3 is a factor of this polynomial. Okay, let's do another one right here. Okay, my dividend is a fourth power, 3x to the fourth plus 10x to the third minus 5x squared minus 18x plus 8. My divisor is a binomial, 2 terms, first degree, x plus 4, so we can do it synthetically. So I'm going to do this now by writing my k. My k is going to be negative 4 because it's x plus 4. So this negative 4 goes outside my wall. I like to build a wall. Some people build a box. That's fine. I just draw a line right here. And my coefficients of my dividend are 3, 10, neg 5, neg 18, and 8. All right, you guys are going to go ahead. Let's just remind you of the first step. I'm going to bring down that 3. Go ahead and multiply through. and I'll be right back. Okay, you should have had 3x to the third minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 30. My remainder was 128, and that goes over x plus 4. So what I did here is I brought the 3 down. Neg 4 times 3 is neg 12. 10 plus neg 12 is neg 2. Neg 4 times neg 2 is pos 8. Neg 5 plus pos 8 is pos 3. Neg 4 times 3 is neg 12. Neg 18 and neg 12 is neg 30. Neg 4 times neg 30 is pos 120. When I add the 8 and the 120, I get 128. Remember now, my last term on the right is my remainder. This is my x to the 0 term, or my number term, x to the first term, x to the second term, and x to the third term. Okay, let's do these last two. Okay, this one right here, x squared minus 8x minus 9 divided by x plus 1. Well, x plus 1 is a binomial with degree 1, so let's do it synthetically. X plus 1, that's going to give me a k of negative 1. I'm going to build my wall and write my dividend, which is 1x squared minus 8x minus 9. Draw my line and bring the 1 down. There it is. Neg 1 times 1 is neg 1. Neg 8 plus neg 1 is neg 9. Neg 1 times neg 9 is pos 9. Neg 9 plus positive 9 is 0. So now I know that this is, well, I'll write this in green, x minus 9, and that 0 is my remainder. So my remainder is 0, which means now that this x minus 9 is my quotient. Both x minus 9 and x plus 1, both of these are factors of x squared minus 8x minus 9, because they both went into x squared minus 8x minus 9 evenly. And you know, if I FOILed x plus 1 times x minus 9, I would get that. Alright, you guys do that last one synthetically. First 5 people to email me with the correct remainder. With the correct remainder, we'll get a bonus point on your next test or quiz. That's it, folks. Have a great night, and we shall see you mañana.